Good morning, welcome to Morning Outlook. This is Kim speaking on Tuesday the 29th of June. So let's have a quick look at the risk events that are due out today. Now I've highlighted all of them, so just to show you, I mean, these yellow ones generally have very little effect on the actual market. So the reason I've highlighted them, actually, there was a few speakers yesterday that didn't get picked up, and I would have liked to have seen them. So I just thought, well, I'll show you all and we'll filter things out. Okay, Reserve Bank of New Zealand Governor already spoken. What we got later on, we got Lagarde at 2:40 speaking, and consumer confidence. That's it. Ironically, they actually have Lagarde actually as a on an orange tab, but we have got these FOMC speakers. They do create some volatility at times, so it's worth watching. The flash data, not really our prelim data. In German case, the Spanish flash data really have little effect on the markets. So there we are. Not very much today at all. It's really pushing towards the year end tomorrow. So year end, month end even. That's due tomorrow, and then we've got obviously non-farm payrolls. Right, okay, year end. God, let's get rid of the year quick, eh? So let's have a look at the technicals, and the euro looking pretty soft here at the moment. Still, it's pouncing each day. It's getting quite spiky in its price action. So we're sort of seeing this whipsaw reaction. But we sort of, after seeing that high put in last week, we sort of seen the low in on was that Monday or Tuesday? Monday? Yesterday, it did pip down. It's not an easy one to follow. Actually, it was yesterday, of course, Monday. There we are. And it sort of spiked down, pulled back up. But it on the lower time frames here, lower highs, lower lows through there, it did break a level here. I didn't get into the trade on that one. But very difficult to read, and many hours of consolidation, and yeah, it's typical summer sort of price action. Could do with something to move this. The swing positions may be better posted. The pound, well, we're seeing same sort of thing, spiky price action at times. Yesterday morning we saw that sort of the push up, but couldn't hold on to those gains, eventually selling off, and more actually a little bit clearer in terms of its sell-off after well, saying that, at 3 o'clock spike, and it just still managed to come back. It picked up again and sold off, but lower highs, lower lows all the way through at the end of the play. Again, as I said, it's probably easier to see from a daily perspective. It looks easier, in which case we should be probably swinging some of these markets, swing trading them, and they do look bearish, those two at the moment. Dollar yen. Well, yen surprised me a little yesterday. It looked at one stage that we were going to be, look, I've even got an alert still set up there. It looked like it was going to get a good wiggle on here. It pushed on through, but couldn't hold on to the gains and has rolled back. In fact, this sort of seems like a risk-off type movement. I was expecting, and I'm not alone here, expecting the sort of money to come out of the likes of the yen, where you've got such low interest rates, and it's the carry trades to start sort of forming, and maybe some of the pairs with the yen, we'll see that a little bit better. Not the dollar. The interest rates are so low, it makes less difference. But if we can get onto perhaps as the year goes through, carry trades will be a bit more of a thing again. Particularly with the yen, where it has very stable low interest rates. Right, so looking at it, well, lower highs, lower lows coming through here, but it looks at the moment it's got a daily pivot above, a spike into that, and well, it might just roll back again. So treading carefully on this one. Aussie dollar. Again, Aussie dollar is sort of the soft signs here. It looks soft. It's pitched a bit lower so far this morning. Same sort of lower highs, lower lows, just drifting down slowly. And yeah, as I say, for much of the daytimes, actually, this did actually get that kicker at the same time as everything else, about midday. But until then, it had been chopping around. It got the kicker and then chopped around, and it's chopping around at the moment. So maybe it would be a decent sell back towards into the pivot, but it's got to get there first. Canadian dollar consolidation sitting on a daily basis. It's I was looking at the big money. Big money's pulled out of the Canadian dollar a little bit, which might see it push through. It's just bang into its weekly pivot there at the moment, just finding that resistance that looks like at some stage that could be broken. I mean, it's the more it sort of sits up here and the more taps on it, the more likely, with the movement that we see in it preceding that, looks like it could push through. So we could see a breakthrough on the Canadian dollar maybe later today. Right, that's pretty much it on the majors. I mean, as I say, a lot of them are quite difficult to read. The cross pairs, well, they're not faring up too much better. We're seeing a bounce on the euro dollar at the moment. But if you come down the time frames, really it's lower highs, lower lows that are sitting in that at this stage. Looking at the 4 hourlies, same sort of pitch all the way through, finding a bit of support maybe off that weekly pivot. It's whether or not it could do something more with it. It may just be an opportunity near these levels to be considering selling. Okay, bit difficult to find a trade, but that's the way the markets go sometimes. And if you're finding things and think it's spotting things, well, great. But some of these, I'll look at some of the cross pairs on days like this, and okay, Aussie yen might have a little bit more action kicking through. There might be a couple that have just got a little bit more, or even the Canadian yen. The oil play sort of trade might have some better moves at times, and it may be that some of these are where we go, but some of them are just chopping away merrily. Okay, S&Ps. I'm just looking at on the big picture here. Let's just come out to the dailies first. Of course, yesterday new highs. Seems like every day is a new high at the moment on the S&Ps. Pushing up there quite solidly. A bit of divergence kicking around the highs on the 4 hourlies. Unless we see a break of 42.63, though, I'd still remain quite bullish on it. Bit of a correction coming through at the moment. But it's chop and roll, really, isn't it? Again, short-term breakdowns may come into play, but just watch for later on as it pushes back up. Right, that's the S&Ps. Gold was disappointing. It didn't really do a lot yesterday, actually. It struggled in its own little range there, but well, that's what it's doing at the moment. It's just chopping along, flatlining almost. There is a bit of movement, but not a significant amount. I'm still erring on the bearish side of this, and again we're seeing sort of money coming away, seeing the bigger money coming away from gold a little bit. There's still massive holdings, don't get me wrong, but just seeing on a week by week basis, just those long futures just coming away. Okay, oil. There's one bullish area that stays bullish, although we've got this huge bearish engulfing that's sitting there yesterday, but we do have this week, we've got OPEC meeting again, and well, whenever they meet recently, it seems that they'll agree to the additional production, but it's quite minimal, and we could see at the end of that another bounce. So I certainly don't want to be trying to fight against the move here at all at this stage. Okay, that's pretty much that. We haven't done Bitcoin. Let's have a quick look at the coins then, or the crypto markets. Let's just bring this into play. Just a quick look at the cryptos and start with Bitcoin. So bounce continuing a little bit at the moment. Ethereum again, I mean, they're all sort of just catching over the last couple of days. A bit of a bounce. Ripple's struggling a little bit more, but as I say, Ethereum is often a bit of the golden child, and percentage wise it can do quite well. I mean, it moved from what 1800 up to 2200. That's a decent percentage gain over the last 4 days. So percentage wise it's doing pretty reasonably. Okay, that's it for me for now. I wish you a great day's trading. Let me just check there's nothing there. Nope. I wish you a great day's trading, and I'll catch you on in the morning. Bye for now.